Good morning, everybody. February 7th, 8:25 a.m. Hope everybody had a good day trading yesterday. Whole lot of nothing really happened. At least during the trading session, obviously we gapped down, but we filled the gap. Let's look at this watch list. See what we got going. Crude. I missed this trade because it happened in the overnight, but I was gonna go long, and now it kind of moved up a lot. Saudi also raised prices on China for oil, so that probably helped it. But again, triple-headed monster. We got the VIX is up 0.77, 10-year yields up 3.6, and the dollar's up again 0.18. The Nasdaq is pretty much flat, but up 0.05. The ES is down slightly 0.12, and we see we got bonds being sold again. The Russell's down 0.22. The Dow is down 0.29. We got Bitcoin 0.22 down. And then let's look at some leaders. We got Tesla's up a percent, 0.09. Microsoft up a percent, 0.08. Baba's up a percent. Nvidia's up a percent. Let's go with some laggards. Not a lot to speak of here. Apple and Netflix, but they're barely down. Leaders, we got Exxon, Chevron up 0.51. Not huge leaders. And Roblox, Procter and Gamble, Walmart. Roblox just moved out of that as I was speaking, but it's obviously defensive stocks here. And then sectors, oil, big winner, and a little bit of the losers, financials and real estate. So we have to see. You got Fed Chair Powell talking today at 12:40. This is what the market's waiting for. That's what the market's waiting for. All right, let's get into that. Let's get into the daily chart. All right. So, as I reported yesterday, the market update, we just hit the 9 daily EMA. Got a trend line here, and we're kind of holding this resistance here. We had a doji candle yesterday, a bunch of indecision. Not a lot to report really. Same thing. This VWAP, anchored VWAP, is acting as resistance now. This is from the all-time highs, this anchored VWAP. So got a doji candle on the Qs. Okay, we have a big wedge here too. That's been resistance. You can see this has been playing out from all the way back here. Okay, and the yellow anchored VWAP is from the lows. Okay, so this is very interesting because the all-time high anchored VWAP, it's kind of like a, if you sold from there, the average weighted average price, and it's causing hit resistance. We broke it, but now it's being resistance right now. So it just means like if we get above this, that means that the average buyer now, the average seller, is now going to be underwater if we get above it. That's why the anchored VWAP from the the recent lows is the average buyer is getting paid. So that's how you look at those, and those are absolutes. They're not interpretations like they're not just based on time. They're actually based on buying and volume and time. So that's the cues. Okay, and you can jump out to a weekly. You can see that we have a nice uptrend going, and you can see this resistance at 307, right? We popped our head above it last week, But look, you got a nice little resistance here in the weekly chart. Let's go in the SPY on a weekly. I can get rid of this. This is kind of hard to see, this Fibonacci. So had a strong resistance level here. You can see on a weekly chart, 410, very resistant, popped above it. Now we're right on it, right? So it's a very important level. Okay, next we got 419, call 420. Okay, that's a monthly chart. So you can see here on a monthly chart, 3 months of kind of equal size candles. We broke out. Now guess what? We're back into this range. So you can see how important, if we can fail, we're going to go back if we move up. So just to give everybody perspective. Okay, let's go into that triple-headed monster, because that could be foreshadowing what's going to happen in those markets. Okay, so we're moving up again. So remember, this is the smart money bond market. So hit the 200-day moving average, and now we're moving higher, cut through all these moving averages, and if this continues to move higher, that's not good for equities. So we have to keep an eye on that. Let's look at that VIX. The VIX needs to get over this 20. That should really bring some selling into the market. But you know, we hit a low of 17, but we're already back. We're almost touching the 20s again. So we have to see. Okay, and that dollar's been getting some love. Okay, we couldn't hold levels down here. Okay, the low here was 100.82. We were in this range. Now we cracked that range, and we're pushing up on now this support of 103. But today we're up almost at 103.85. So pretty interesting. Now that must mean the euro is getting hurt. So this is the euro futures. Yeah. So the euro is selling off. Okay. What makes up the Dixie, the dollar, is the largest weight in that is the euro. So that's why I went to that. All right. So we're pulling back, and we're just waiting today. Now what we got to wait for today is Powell. Now we just had these jobs report come out. We just had a jobs report come out, and it was added. We added so many jobs, right? A lot of people think that's a bunch of malarkey, or and then we have a State of the Union address today with President Biden. I mean, some people could look at that as political or messing with the numbers, just because you know, this will look good and unemployment tick down and adding jobs, and that's going to look good for people who don't look into the numbers and just want to watch the president speak and think that everything's hunky-dory. You know, some people don't look at that. They just look at what the president says. So that could be a positive for him, right? So we have to see. Now let's get into the market profile. There's not a lot to glean at all, really. A lot of nuance, but I'll show you what happened. Just give me a second here. All right, let's go to the ES and just where we're at now, because I did do a market update, and I'm talking about the most traded price of the week. All right. So very important. All right, what we want to see is look at the profile now. This is the composite volume profile of the last 5 days. Okay, so you can see some volume here, nice pocket of volume here, but however, this is now the most traded price of the week. That level is 41.25. Okay, so we couldn't move the most traded price higher. It's lower now. All right. We did clean up some of these singles from yesterday. So you can see over here, these were the singles. I don't have a box there anymore because we cleaned them yesterday. That's what it's called. It's called cleaning the singles. So we still have singles left. Okay. Now, this is a little line in the sand here now. This 41.25. And we hit supply zone yesterday. And monthly VWAP. I talked about this in the pre-market video. Okay. This is a little line in the sand now. This most traded price. And now we have some weak lows right here. So let's sum that up. If we hold here, now the profile's got to get some excess, right? Which would mean taking out these singles and maybe coming down to here. We still have the most traded price of the month here. That level is 40.29. Okay. So that's really what I'm going to be looking at. Okay. We're in a little bit of a range. Right. Now yesterday we had what's called a prominent POC, prominent point of control. Okay. And I'll show you that. I'm going to make this real big here so everybody can see this. And I'm actually going to go to the RTH. Let me bring that back in. I'm gonna go actually to the RTH session, which is just the real-time trading hours, which what you would see if you looked at the SPY. Okay, and I'm gonna show you what I mean. Okay, so there's two things now that I don't have to go too much into analysis. We're just balancing. There's two things right now on a market profile and a volume profile. Okay, I just want to give some background. There's what's called a POC. That stands for point of control. Okay, and this was the POC yesterday. That's market profile terminology, point of control. Okay, that just means the most time was spent at 41.2250. You see that? And how a market profile works, if I split out the session just like this, okay, I even can make this bigger. Let's see, let's make it real big. And hopefully somebody, you're looking on an iPad or a computer, you can see those letters. Okay, so this is market profile. So market profile just makes a letter for every 30-minute period. So each 30-minute period is a bar. Just think of it as a bar. That's all it is. It doesn't have wicks or anything like that, but it's just that's how price moves. In these little circles is the opening of every letter of every 30-minute period. So the little circle will have the open here. So the open here, and then you can see the price action of that 30 minutes. And then when that 30 minutes is done, it's 10 o'clock, the market opened up here in B period. And that's B period. That's all it is. I know it looks crazy, but that's all it is. But my point here is to show you the POC and why it's prominent. Okay, so POC, just this market profile is based on the most time spent. So the most time spent was spent here. Now look, this is price 41.2220. Look how many of those periods went through there. A period, B period, C period, D period, E period, F period, G period, H period, I period, J period. Every period. They call these time price opportunities. Okay. But basically every 30-minute bar crossed this level. So that's why it's considered the POC, point of control. It's kind of like a tipping point, right? But there was so much balance yesterday. So this is a very important level. Okay. Now that's POC. That's market profile. Then you have the VPOC, which is volume point of control. Now the volume point of control, let me get back here, is the volume profile. That's based on volume. That's not based on time. Just just volume, okay? So I'll make this back. I'm hoping this makes sense to whoever is watching, because I know market profile looked crazy to me when I first saw it. So, and then you have volume profile, which is this here, okay? And the volume profile I can show you on this chart just to make it easier, okay? And I'll bring it right into view for everybody. This is the volume. This is volume. This is a 15-minute chart with volume profiles, okay? Here you can see 41.25 was the most traded price of a volume. Okay, so you have the POC from market profile and you have the VPOC from volume profile. So the most volume is traded right here, and you have a perfect market profile. Volume profile. Perfect bell curve distribution. Most trades were happened in here. Okay. So whenever you have this, okay, and we're kind of in balance. So we're kind of in balance right now. So you can see how I chart. Like, this is just a chart I look at to. That's 15-minute candles with volume profile. I don't show this ever. I don't think I've showed this, but these are just 15-minute candles with volume profiles for just the RTH session. Okay. So you can just see how big the volume was here, right? So that's very important. It's a very important price. 41.25 is very important. Okay. Now, if we were way away from this, I would say this is a magnet. These prominent POCs, these prominent fine point and controls like this are like magnets. So if we were outside of these points, I would say this would get tested again, but we're kind of in balance. I'm going to go back to the market profile to see exactly where we're at. I just wanted to show you that. So price, let's just get right here. So the price is at 41.17. We're right here. Okay. If we don't go too far, and even if we come out here and the market's still waiting for Powell, I can see us testing this just because of how prominent it was. Because what's going to happen is everybody traded agreed that this price was fair. Okay, that's another way to look at these volume point and controls. Okay, most traded price of the week when I talk about the most traded price of the month, right? It's the same thing, just on a larger scale. It just means that if it's an auction and you're auctioning a house, everybody agrees that for this last 5 days, 41.25 is the fairest price of this house. Okay, if you're going to buy it up here, which is a larger price, that's not a good deal. Okay, if you're going to buy it down here, you got a better deal. Okay, but this is the fairest price. So that's what the market is. It's just an auction. So that's what I'm saying, because we're down here, you're going to get less and less and less buyers. Okay, then eventually what's going to happen? The prices are deemed unfair, and it's going to go right back to the fair price right here. I'm only saying that because of this balance, because this level's even stronger now because it's the most traded price of the week and it's the most traded price of yesterday. So it's a powerful level today. Okay, and I'm not saying we break out, and it could happen because of Powell. Powell could say something. Okay, that's why we have these lows that are weak. We break this, we got single prints below us that I feel the market could. This is a naked VPOC, which just means it's a most traded price of a day that has not been tested. That's that. Then we have this demand zone, and then we go all the way down. We have a demand zone again, and the most traded price of the month is still below us. Okay. Of course, if Powell's dovish, you could see us come down here, and when we come here, you take profit because this is a chop zone, okay? But if we start to come up here, monthly VWAPs here, and we start to go do this, all these shorts are gonna get hurt, right? Then my price will move up. That's really as simple as it comes today. If we can break out of this little range that we're in here, okay? That's really all I'm looking at today. It's all hinged on Powell, 1240. Now, I don't know how many people are like watching right now, or if there's any questions, just because this is the rarity that I don't really have to go too in depth of like technical analysis. So I don't know if anybody has any questions, or I mean, I could check to see how many on the stream. There might be nobody. I don't know. We got somebody. Oh, there's my Rosita's here. All right. I think you're the only one right now, Chief. That's okay. I don't know if you're on your phone or your computer, but obviously you're there. And I'll ask you, because I'm going to probably wrap this up in about a couple minutes. There you go. You are. Do you have any questions? Does what I'm saying make sense? Alrighty. I like that. I'm always hoping you can see the letters today, dude. Whoa. What's D-Dog? D-Dog doing something special today? Hold on, let me look. I'm going to put my watch list up here for a sec. Let's see, I have, let's see here. I have my cybersecurity watch list. Let's see. D-Dog. Oh, D-Dog's kind of flat. Do you want me to look at D-Dog really quickly? Or are you okay, let's look at D-Dog. Or Data Dog. Alright, and then I'm gonna wrap this up because basically I already gave what I'm looking for today. So let's go to D-Dog. Alright, let's get these. Let's go to a different let's see here. Let's go to, here we go. Let's go to Datadog. Alright. So let's look at, now you can see I talked about this to you earlier, right? Now what I said, what D-Dog was doing, which was not good, was anytime you see excess on monthly candles like this, usually you get a move up. But just check this out. You got excess. Next month, down. You get excess. People buy it again. Next month, doesn't go higher. Then he tries to make a move higher. Couldn't do it. Then it's sell, sell. Then you got more excess on another monthly candle, right? People trying to buy it. Next month, nope. Look at this last month. You got nice excess. And look at this inverted hammer. People just crushed it. So this stock is not strong, in my opinion, right now. I mean, look at that. Like flattened out like a pancake this month. So it broke. It broke. It broke this level, which was a strong level, right? 85.44. It broke it, but then got smacked, and now it's back to this old level here in the monthlies. Just to zoom it out, right? We go to the weeklies. Okay, it's these are equivolume candles, but let's go to just the regular candlestick on the weeklies, right? There's that little poke above that big level, couldn't hold it, right? And then this week, it just got slammed back to this level, 76.43. Okay, so it's definitely now the one thing I would say, this is the downtrend. It broke it, holding it's broken the downtrend, so that's good. And with this 10 week moving average EMA, it is fine. It's closed above it, and this week we're still above it, so that is a positive. Okay, that is a positive. This selling is not good, but that is a positive. Now notice the volume has been pretty good. Okay, but still you haven't really went anywhere, right? And then finally, let's look at, not finally, but the daily chart. And most traded price of the year is right here at 74.94. Okay, we're not that far from that. And last time we talked, I said this would be, you know, it could be a breakout point, which it did, see? However, we're coming right back to the most traded price. Okay, and then if we zoom in a little more, okay, here, I'm going to wrap it up here. Okay, you can see these are each week. So each week, right? Okay. Now look, this is the most traded price of the last 30 days right here. I would say we probably come back to test this 74.27. If we go below that, that is not good. So that's going to be the line in the sand, 74.27. Obviously, like Rosa said, earnings are coming up. Obviously, it could cause some volatility. But if you go below that level, and we might, wait for earnings. So what I would guess, this is just me. Now look at this. These buyers just got shut off with these sellers. Okay, I would say we would probably see this waiting for earnings. 74.27. I could see us just hanging out here. Okay, because look, the most traded price of that week was that level. The most traded price of the week before that, last week, was that level. Now all we need to do is come back here again. That's most likely what's going to happen. Okay, waiting for earnings. I could be wrong. Obviously, it doesn't mean it has to do that, but that's the most probability that it will do that. Now, the last, I'll leave you with the equivolume bars. I really like looking at these lately just because it shows you volume very quickly. All right, already I can look down here. This was large selling. If you notice that, right? You don't have to look very hard for this large selling. This is the biggest volume on the chart. Now look at that. Biggest volume of selling. Now look what happened. Had a pretty decent size buying, and look what happened. Those sellers got crushed. They got squeezed. So this selling volume got taken out. That's why we pushed. And then look at this push. Look at that candle with that volume. Pushed, right? But guess what? On the way down, big volume, taking out this buyer. So we just took out this buyer with this volume. See how that works? So seller, big volume, taken out by the buyers. Big volume by the buyers, big volume on the selling. On the way down, we took out these buyers. So that's just a stock that's waiting. Okay? Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense. Alrighty. I have to go look at my crude. And guys, we're in balance. Girls, were in balance. So you saw the range that I was looking at. Okay, I don't see much happening until Powell starts talking. Okay, so right now I could see push down. Real quick, I'll just show you this. What I'm looking at. Really quickly, I can see a push down to here, and then we go right back up here and wait for Powell. Even can go in here and move up here to come back down and wait for Powell. That's the trade. Okay. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hope everybody learned something today about market profile and or environment profile. And I'll be back tomorrow or today with an update. All right. Stay green. Give me a comment, like, or subscribe as always. And I'll see you tomorrow.